Good morning everybody and welcome to the daily card reading. I have a slightly different camera setup today. I hope it works for you. I've been able to display my piece of celestite underneath the card, which goes really nicely with the card, as you can see. But first of all, before we get into the reading, I want to just show you the deck that I am using. So I'm going to come around in front of the camera with my hand. It's the Crystal Mandala Oracle by Alana Fairchild, published by Blue Angel Publishing. And it's a super deck. As are all of Alana's decks. I am a big fan, as you may become aware the more you watch my videos and come to my lives on Facebook. This one is a deck that I use a lot for myself, but I don't tend to use on the lives and the recordings very often because there's an awful lot to them. Like a lot of Alana's decks, they're very in-depth. But just a quick run through of this deck. You have a big onus on the 444, the 333 and the 888, and Alana has written books that really go quite well alongside this deck about those numbers. But you've also got the crystal masters, so the energy of crystals, and they've been linked up so that you have a certain amount of cards that are angel cards, so the 444, the angels and certain crystals, then the ascended master cards, and then the goddess cards, the 888. So you can use these cards in a number of ways. So you can split the deck into each group and draw a card from each and get an idea of whether the card then is being the guidance is being given from a spiritual perspective or more of an earthly bound perspective, a practical perspective. So they're really good like that. Or you can just draw a card and see who comes up, and that's what I've done today. I just drew a card from the deck asking for guidance for us. As usual, I always ask for guidance in unconditional love and for the highest good of all. And this is the card that came: Ascended Master, Mother Mary and Celestite. And the card message is unconditional trust. And isn't that the hardest thing? Unconditional trust. You know, it's really easy to trust that we are getting the help we need and that our prayers are being answered when everything is going right, when we're in that state of flow and abundance and the world looks bright and amazing. But it is super hard to feel that trust when things aren't going right. But of course, that's the time when we do need to trust, when we really need to trust. Because often those times are when things are going on in the background that we can't see. Things are going on in the universe, causing chaos in your life. And you can't see why. You look around and you think, well, I don't deserve this. What have I done to deserve this? But it's not about what you deserve, and it's not about what the universe is doing to you or giving to you. And it's not about what you might have done wrong in some other lifetime or this one to cause this to happen to you. The reason for the chaos is because what you actually want and what you've been praying for and what you're trying to visualize and manifest cannot happen from where you are and where you have been. It can only happen if life changes. And any changes in life start from chaos. Things have to be thrown up in the air so that they land differently. Some things have to disappear completely. They're no good to help you manifest what you actually want. And of course, all of this is only ever obvious in hindsight. When it's happening, it just looks really awful. And that's the time when we really need to remember that what we've been asking for and what we're trying to manifest can't happen from the vibration, the frequency, and the dimension we have been living in. It cannot happen from our current perception of reality. Our perception has to change, because in the reality we've been dwelling in, we have been using our superpowers of manifestation to bring us what we don't want. We just haven't realised that. Or we might have realised it, but not known what to do about it. So we've handed it over to divinity by saying, help me, by praying for answers, by praying for change. And the universe knows far better than us what that change will bring to us, what needs to happen to create that change and bring that manifestation to life. Because the universe can see a far broader and bigger picture than we could ever do. So we have to trust that our prayers have been answered. Our prayers are in the midst of being answered. Our manifesting is working, and we have to keep doing it. We have to keep placing ourselves every day in that vibration of what we want instead of the vibration of what we don't want, because that will make it all happen quicker. And if you can't do that, if you're so exhausted with it all that you cannot possibly place yourself in that feeling of abundance, then the best and the easiest thing to do is to surrender back into the arms of whatever angel, ascended master, or goddess, and perhaps today that should be Mother Mary herself. Surrender into their arms and offer up all of these feelings that the chaos is bringing up in you to that particular very, very powerful energy source. When you do that, you can actually feel a sigh of relief going through your body. You can feel it in your very soul. You don't need to deal with this in the way that your human mind thinks you do. You can be trusting that if you offer it to the divine, it will all be taken away from you. You can sit back and relax and wait for your reality to change. And you'll find after a couple of days of doing this that you will have the energy again to start thinking about being in that vibration of abundance. It doesn't take long. If you trust, if you give to divinity all of these feelings that you don't want because you don't know how to deal with them, you won't be judged. You won't be found wanting. You will be loved even more into the you know you really are.